Greetings, dear ladies. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. The message this evening is mostly for the ones in the room. Although there are those who will listen, I would tell those to put yourself here, especially those who would consider themselves as one of you. This is a special time, a very special time. This is the Lemurian Sisterhood. And you meet in the shadow of the mountain. As we spoke earlier today, it's deceiving what might be here. I said earlier that the actual definition of life is so limited to you. It doesn't include that which is beyond the definition. It doesn't include super high consciousness or non-corporeal consciousness. And yet it's here. The Lemurian Sisterhood has met all over the world. But the places where it's most germane to the energy, that is, the most commensurate to who you are and what you're looking at and why you're here, are especially in two places. That which used to be Lemuria, which is Hawaii. And that node where the Star Mothers continue to be, which is called Mount Shasta. The things that were taught to you in Lemuria were special because the purity of what was in Lemuria was kept pure by its remoteness. Here there were some differences because indeed there were others. And it's not nearly as remote. You can come and go from it if you wish. But the teaching was pure. And what I want to tell you, dear sisters, is that most of you who would spend your moments here asking, even if you were in Lemuria, were. But what you have here is indeed a sisterhood. For the Star Sisters, who actually were in Lemuria at one time, many of them came here. You have the same family here. This would be a wonderful time for all of you, if you're serious about asking these questions. What do I do with the information? What now? Why am I here? Why the Lemurian connection? If you're interested, you've got the same Star Mothers, some of them, who have come here, perhaps some of them even expecting you to be here. We teach and have always taught that Spirit, God, whatever you want to call, is always there, waiting for your free choice to open the door, to say, was I not? Show me, give me, the sign perhaps. If you want to be talked to, boy, this is a good time. This is a great time. In the shadow of the mountain, with some of the same actual teachers that you had in Lemuria, they're here. Now, what does it mean to you, really, as you sit there? The whole purpose of the sisterhood is to rekindle and remember the information that you had in Lemuria. That core information is the teaching that the sisters gave you about what is the difference between a human who just here or a human that is actually prepared to be shamanic, that is, wisdom, greater intuition, beautiful messages. And if you're not ready for that, perhaps it should be more basic. The solution of problems and issues you have. Solutions to things that are at ground level, so concerning to you. Children, relationships, all of these things. The tools are here. They really are. In the shadow of the mountain, it has been said that the city, if you want to say, the city that might be within is really without. And it extends for a very, very long reach. You're sitting in it. If you can see the mountain, you're sitting in it. It's a really good time for the tools to be delivered to you finally. And maybe that's why you're here. Listen, even if you live here, you know I'm right. There are things here that go beyond definition, that have been studied to find out why they are what they are. Mele'ha is attracted to the mountain. She keeps going up. And now you know why that is as well. Because her mother's here. And she knows that. And so we tell you yet again, boy, if you had to make a decision about when to start asking the questions, in the shadow of the mountain is the best place. Now, for those of you who might listen to this message, apart from those who sit here, let's get multidimensional. You're connected. Every single the ones who are listening to this outside of this moment are connected. You have to understand and believe that. You wouldn't be part of the sisterhood if you didn't understand that. Listen, some of you even understand that twins who share similar, if not identical, DNA have communication on opposite sides of the earth. And it's not like a telephone. It's when one senses something, the other one senses as well. This is the kind of communication that we're speaking of right now. Those who were part of Lemuria all have this. And you're meeting each other, perhaps for the first time. If you want a challenge, why don't you find out where the other one lives? You meet those that you haven't seen before. Connect and see whether there's no more than just a connection today. There is. All over the earth, the Lemurian Sisterhood is starting to connect in such a way that as you hear my voice, I tell you, you're here. You're with these ones, these ladies who sit. I'll tell you this, I've said it before. My partner does not know what's going on here. He cannot hear me. There is no gender on the other side of the veil. Ignore the male voice. Sisters, I'm one of you. I am telling you that the shamanship of this planet belongs to you. And always did. It started that way, and it's going to return that way. I don't have to prove it. Just take a look around at what's happened. And ask, say, how's it going so far? It isn't. The gender is wrong for today's teaching and spirituality. It should all be in the hands of the intuitive, compassionate women who understand these things and have the wisdom of raising children to be able to go and face off with those who are in trouble and have advice and the compassion and the patience that only this gender would have. And that's where this is going. Whatever you came here to do, whatever it is, whatever you wanted from this meeting or were curious, I'll tell you it's a lot more profound than you think, especially in the shadow of the mountain. Now would be a good time to ask, Dear Spirit, show me what I need to know. And then don't decide what it is in advance. It might be greater than you think, more magnificent. Dear Spirit, what should I do about this or that? And don't expect the kind of an answer that you expect on a piece of paper. Because shamans get it another way. You get it through the intuition that is yours. You get it in a straightforward, sometimes immediate way. You'll not get it in a linear way, and you know that as well. This would be a wonderful practice time for that in the shadow of the mountain. Congratulations for deciding this day to be here and ponder these things. And so it is.